Welcome everyone to our bi-monthly Innovate Durban webinar. Welcome to everyone who has joined us on Zoom. Welcome to everyone who is watching us live on Facebook. We've got what for me is one of our most exciting webinars in our series today. And so we're joined today by three innovators that are going to share with us kind of a bit about their journeys. But before we get into that, I will introduce myself, tell you a little bit about Innovate Durban, and just give you a couple of housekeeping rules before we get started. So my name is Amy Ben. I am the program lead at Innovate Durban. Innovate Durban is a non-profit company. We are set up to support innovation and innovators in Durban, in KZN and beyond. We both support those currently innovating, but we also look to drive innovation forward and to introduce innovation to those who potentially either aren't innovating or kind of don't understand what innovation is. So very briefly, that is who Innovate Durban is. In terms of some ground rules, particularly for those joining us on Zoom, you'll see that there is a Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. We would love to hear some questions from you, either directed at our guest speakers, at our innovators, or at Innovate Durban directly. We will likely have a time at the end of the session, after everyone's had an opportunity to share, to answer those questions. So you're welcome to ask a question at any point, but we will get to answer those towards the end. If there's a question that is maybe too complicated to answer in just a brief session like this, or we run out of time to get to it, don't stress, we will be answering all questions via email. We will also share some contact details for Innovate Durban right at the end, so don't stress about that. And then also towards the end of the webinar, we will be launching a poll. It will pop up on your screen when it happens. It will probably happen during the Q&A session. And really that's just for us to engage more thoroughly with those of you who are watching, and to understand what we did well, what we maybe didn't do well, and how we can, continue to deliver helpful content, stuff that excites and interests people. So that's all from me. I'm going to hand over to my colleague Sakiwo. He'll introduce himself, and then he's going to introduce our guest speakers for today. Thank you. Over to you, Sakiwo.
Thank you, Amy. Morning all. I am Sakiwo, Project Coordinator of Innovate Durban. Today, our innovators will be sharing their stories on their innovations, products, and prototypes. Without any further delay, I would like to introduce our innovator, Blessing Nzuza from Respo, Joe Ash Govinsamy from Green Gold Tech, and lastly, Tabile Mbambo from Pre-Innovations. I will now hand over to Blessing Nzuza.
Morning, everyone. Thanks for having me here. It's nice to talk about innovation during this period. I think it sort of gives us that ability to sort of let loose a little bit, because we're always serious trying to get back to operations. So it's nice to sort of share. So basically, I'll start by defining what my company does. My company is called Respo. We are making medical care accessible to all. One of the projects that we are currently busy with is called the Respo app. So basically what that app does is it makes patients, it actually enables patients easy access to private ambulances.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
Speaking to you, Siri. Basically, what happens is, should somebody require an ambulance, you simply download our app. and then you have instant access to all of the database of ambulances closest to you, right? We once did a prototype with Sakile, well, testing basically, but Sakiwo, sorry. The problem at that time we experienced when we were doing the actual live test, it was the method of which people have to pay for private ambulances. It became a little bit expensive, right? So we have been able to sort of improve on that one by working out a small monthly subscription, which is just under 60 rands that people can actually subscribe to, whereby they can get access to private ambulance without having to pay the actual bulk amount, because an ambulance can cost you an average of 2.5, right? So we've done the job of a coordinating the actual database of the actual ambulances, and number two, making it affordable to actually request an ambulance, right? So basically, that's the area our business is actually operating in, right? So what real life challenges is our innovation solving. I think I've just mentioned that. What challenges have we gone through and how have we overcome them? Basically, in most cases, innovation. We all go out and say, you know what, we're going to create a nice, innovative product. But then the challenge part becomes, how can you make it sustainable, right? Because it's nice to create something that's fancy, but can you actually scale it out? Can you actually make a business out of it, right? In our case, it was nice to coordinate the entire database, right? To just put out ambulances in one app whereby everyone can actually access them. But then, does it make sense that you are actually offering access to private ambulances to mostly people who cannot afford it? So now, how can you be able to actually build a solution whereby those people can actually afford it as well? So innovation without having it to be a workable thing long term, it's kind of a waste of time, right? So the challenge is actually getting to that point whereby it actually makes business sense for us, basically, right? Um, why is innovation important? So, I mean, no civilization moves forward without innovation. We have to think outside the box. We have to sort of take a step back and look at how can we actually improve our standard of life. So, for me, innovation is extremely important in that sense. It actually helps us to take the next step. Access to support, resources, and funding. Yeah, ne? That part for me, I've been fortunate enough to be number one exposed to organizations like Innovate Durban, and a few others as well. So for me, coming from a business background, it hasn't been a big challenge to actually go out there and present your case to such a point that someone can be able to actually believe in you and give you some money to actually start. But then you have to invest in yourself first before anyone else can actually invest in you, right? So what most people do is they sort of sit back and wait for somebody to actually give them support. How about you start doing something first so that whenever you go there, there are many funding opportunities. You've got grants, you've got loans, you've got funders, right? Equity funders. So everyone, the opportunities are there, but the problem is you have to get yourself ready first so that when you do present yourself to those people, they can at least ask you, what do you have? What concept do you have? Because in a situation of grant funding, you can apply with an idea, but you must be clear what the actual idea is and how could it potentially make money, right? So your story must be clear from the actual get-go. And do not forget to to actually invest in yourself first. Balancing business and life. Guys, come on. That part for me, my business is my life, basically, right? My business is my life. So I never find myself having to actually decide on the two, right? Because I'm working for myself. Um, let's just say I've never had to find myself in a situation whereby I've had to find that balance, because I always find a way to fit everything in. So I know it might be a challenge for some people, but I mean, if you're an entrepreneur, dude, that's the sacrificing you make, you actually making, you know. So for me, that question, it's not even a question, right? It depends where you are in life, and what do you want to actually achieve, right? So you can make the sacrifices accordingly, right? So my personal journey with Innovate Durban, I love Innovate Durban. Uh, they put me on Ukhozi FM and presented so many opportunities for me. I love Innovate Durban. The support, the guys are amazing. There's never been a time whereby I would make a call and then no one would actually respond. So the Innovate Durban platform is great. It's great for innovation in Durban as a whole. So it's really, 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 really inspiring. Um, what are future plans and goals? Future plans and goals quite big. We actually partaking in a chain of the medical response sector. We want to grow our solutions to such a point whereby we can even have our own ambulances, right? Because you find that we have service providers like AR24, Netcare as well, but we want to grow to such a point that we also have our own ambulances. I mean, that's not something which is unachievable. So yeah, basically for us, we just want to go that far and make sure that everywhere, every corner of the country is actually covered, regardless of how much income that community is able to actually bring in. Because medical care, I feel like it's everyone's right. Yeah, that's it from me, guys.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Blessing.
Pleasure.
Yes. Thank you, Blessing. Now we'd like Joash to tell us his story.
Thank you so much, the team at Innovate Durban, for this opportunity. My innovation is actually on fish farming. I don't know if you can see the fish and the little fish over here, and it's focused on aquaculture. So you may be asking, where's the innovation in fish farming? Well, fish farming or fish are still one of the things we still go out to hunt and eat. We don't really farm as much fish when compared to cattle or chickens or any other food product. And compared to those food products, fish farming is actually more efficient and is a more healthier protein source. So, I mean, everyone knows that our population, the UN has predicted our population will grow to over 9 billion in just 35 years' time. And that's within our lifetime. So we need a new way to produce protein for our population. So that's where I came up with my innovation in farming. So I found a new filtration system that uses a phytoplankton, or it's like a green algae. And what it does is it takes the waste from the fish and it cleans it up, and it cleans out the water and it restores it back to the fish. So I created like a closed loop system that is more environmentally friendly and more sustainable. So that means we don't have to go out and hunt for fish anymore. And compared to like the conventional fish farming industry, they use antibiotics, they use chemicals, they use bad strains of fish, and they cause a lot of damage to our environment. And they cause a lot of damage even to our ecosystems. So with my invention, I eliminate many of those things or the bad things associated with fish farming. So that was my innovation. And my tip would be, just as my fellow innovator Blessing said, personal mastery. So we're so focused on getting funding and getting a business up and running, but personal mastery is very important. Like your money management, your time management, your diligence. Yes, go out for funding, but make sure that you have all these in check. I know, and also don't confuse an invention for innovation. So you may be asking what the difference is. Your invention is basically your idea. You made this product and say it works, but no one's willing to buy it. So that's not innovation, that's an invention or idea. Innovation is taking your idea and adding commercialization to it. So you're asking, who's gonna buy my idea? So when I started my innovation, I started with a small plastic bottle and a desk lamp. And I remember taking like the fish, I had like guppies, like small fish. And I used to put them in the water and plus the algae, and I used to it was like my small prototype. And then I thought, okay, I have this microorganism that can clean the water. And now how can I use this into the world so that I can create an income? And then I found that the aquaculture industry needs innovative filters. They need ways to, so that they don't have to destroy the environment. So I saw a problem and I came up with a solution. And that solution can now be commercialized into filters that can produce a product, such as these fish, that I can sell to the market. And I know, so if whatever you're facing, like I know in terms of funding and resources, there are many funders out there. And my advice would be persist. Like I was rejected by many funding opportunities till I got selected by the ones that best fit me. So, persist. And it's also good, even if you're not ready for your business, it's good to just look at these applications, because sometimes they can give you an idea of what investors are looking for, so that you can run your business in a way to meet those demands, perhaps in the future when you need to actually make these applications in business. So okay, I need to have my financials in check. I need to understand how to make an income statement, or I need to know how to do tax. I need to have a business plan. So at least you can have, and you can work on all these things instead of the night before, the application is due tomorrow, and you're doing all these things the day before, and you're not doing it to the best of your ability. And then maybe you will get the funding, and then your business isn't run as well as it's supposed to do because you didn't put so much thought into your business plan. You didn't put thought into how to run your business. So my advice would be, try first your personal mastery, find an idea, find a way how you can commercialize it, because that's innovation. And my balance with personal life and innovation is you have to try and compartmentalize your business and your personal life. Now, there will be times when obviously you'll be pulling out those all-nighters and those weekends, and especially when you start, you have to really grind and hit it hard. But you also have to set limits, maybe have fixed working hours, and especially for your finances. Your business finance and your personal finance must be different. You can't dip into your business and then use it for your personal, and then use your personal, and then use it for business. You have to take maybe, even if it's a small salary, like set a fixed income for yourself. Okay, I'm just gonna earn 100 Rand from my business this month. Or maybe you can even make your business, you say, okay, my goal is to earn 10,000 Rand this month. And then you set it, but you don't, you must separate your finances, you must separate even your time, and you must differentiate between, compartmentalize your business from your personal life. Otherwise, you're gonna have trouble in the future. And that's my take on it. And and I wish you all the best for all those who want to get into innovation. And also my experience with Innovate Durban has been excellent. I mean, the team, you can see they're passionate about about innovation. I mean, it's been, I think, over 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years, I'm not sure, and they're still as sharp as ever. And you can see they're passionate about youth in innovation. They're passionate about helping businesses in innovative ways. So they're not a company that just says we are about innovation. They use innovative approaches towards business. That's different from what people are doing. And I know they've always been at the knife edge of innovation in terms of business, trying their very best. And I have if I had to give it a rating, I would give it 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. And I'm grateful for the team and the work they are doing. And thank you so much for the opportunity to present today.
Thank you, Joash. Thank you for the kind words. Tobile. Now we'd like to Tobile to tell us her story about innovation and the product. You're on mute.
Thank you, innovators. Hi, good morning. Good morning to Innovate Durban team. Thank you for having us. My journey with Innovate Durban and being an innovator started in 2014 when Innovate Durban had a summit which brings together students from different colleges and different universities and high school to come together and solve social problems that people actually experience in townships and different areas in Durban. It was a very, very great experience, which then got me to start a business in innovation. And basically, I am a student in law and working in a law firm, and I have a business in innovation. So unlike Blessing and Joash, I have 3 lives basically that I live. Unfortunately, it's not really conflicting because I'd say my innovative business is more exciting than anything else. And having a different life, meaning having personal life and being a student and working permanently in any sector, and me working in the legal sector, I'd say it's been very interesting. And luckily enough, I also got exposed to being part of the conveyancing department, which got me to realize that my innovation that I started later after 2014 is really relevant. And being in the receiving end, not just seeing it being a problem out there, but also having experiencing this problem, which got me to start this project, which then I decided to make it a business. And this innovation really it's like metering. I'd say it's metering because it actually enables you to receive your meter reading, be it your water meters or your electricity meter on your cell phone, being able to know how much you've received, how much you've used every day or every week per your request, not just in liters, but also in watts. Which then converts it into rands, so you know what you're actually paying for. And one of the things that people don't realize is that municipality has been struggling with the billing system, and they've been in countless cases on with regards to accuracy with billing. And being also part of that experience at home, I realized that no, this is a problem that needs to be solved. And working in the sector of conveyancing in the legal department, you find people selling houses, and the houses already is like in debt, and you wonder what's happening. And people wonder because the another thing is you sell a house and you don't live in it for like years or probably months, and then you realize that you have this debt that you incurred and nobody has any answers for it. So with this innovation, it really helps you, understand whether there's a leak or any fraudulent connections happening in your yard, and you're able to resolve it sooner than rather than later. You don't have to like go now being in court cases with municipalities with regards to these inaccurate billing, which really does help a lot. And it also does help you to save and budget in advance. And you're able to put your utility on your budget as well. And with regards to funding, it's easy for me now to say that funding is reachable because I'm already in the spectrum. I'm already exposed to these I say organizations like Innovator, and I know where to go through them. But if you're just starting off, it is really difficult. You need to put yourself out there and really try and apply for these challenges that will come up for innovators. And it's really, really difficult to actually persuade or tell people or get people to understand your innovation. That is why it becomes very, very hard to get funding, but it's important for you to participate in all these programs. Opportunity might come your way. And another thing with regards to innovation, people think that innovation has to do with tech, bots, and coding. It's more than that. It could be just an experience or a service that's different from a current one, or you could just make things easier, improve productivity, anything. And in my life, every single day, having to say that I'm an innovator, you realize that innovation is everywhere. You can innovate anything, basically. You don't have to know anything about IT to innovate. You can just take a simple brand or a product that is existing, and you can change it in making it more effective or more efficient, and you can just call that your innovation. What I'd say my future goals from now is to improve on my current innovation, probably add more features and improve on other programs that I've already, or project rather, that I've already started in my business in creating more innovation. And yeah, I'd say that. What else I can say? The challenges are there basically. You will reach, I think it's great that we have programs and organizations like Innovator, because when you speak to just random people regarding your innovation, people might think that you're just rambling and, well, it can't happen, So it's great to come together with other innovators and meet in these spheres, and talk about innovation with people that really understand and get it out there, and it would definitely flourish. Yeah, then that's all I've got.
Thanks so much, Tobile.
Thank you.
Blessing, Joash. Thank you guys so much. We do have a couple of questions, and some that I'll answer, some that I'm potentially going to direct at you guys. Just a reminder, if any of the attendees do have additional questions, you're welcome to use the Q&A function now. You're also welcome to email us as well. Joash, just the first question for you, I think is probably just out of interest, but why did you focus on fish farming? Do you have some kind of background there? What kind of made you hone down to that?
Okay. Well, see, I actually studied my degree in microbiology and biochemistry. So what I found was that I've always liked the fact that we can use microorganisms to remediate pollution and to do some great and awesome things. And I really think, well, at that time when I started my company, I felt like microorganisms were overlooked. And I think everyone can agree with me that with the coronavirus present, microorganisms have a huge role in our society. And I believe in the future, more society is going to realize the true power of the unseen, which is the micro world. So why I decided fish farming was because I believe that, like fish are very good at converting a feed into meat. So like a cow would take 8 pounds of food and convert it to 1 pound of meat. But a fish will convert 1 pound of food to 1 pound of meat. So they're the second most efficient protein source in the world. Number one being insects, and I'm not ready to eat a locust burger just yet, you know. So I decided that I want to make a system that's new and that's innovative. And fish farming is relatively new. I mean, how many fish farmers do you know or have you heard of? And another thing was like I noticed that the number one farmed fish is salmon and tilapia. Tilapia is actually the number one farmed fish, and tilapia is from Africa. And if you were to see where most of our tilapia comes from, it's from China, it's from other nations farming a fish that's native to our country. And that kind of made me angry. So I said, oh, you know what, why don't I develop technology and get ready for this huge farming wave that I can see is coming in the future? And maybe our technology and we be known for South African technology and South Africa aquaculture making a mark in the world. And I want to be part of that blue revolution.
Sure. That's awesome, Joash. Thanks for that background. I guess, yeah, it's obviously because being an entrepreneur and an innovator is already difficult enough. To be focusing on something that you're passionate about is, I think, very important already. I've got questions both for Tobile and Blessing. Tobile, 2 questions for you. One, when do you sleep? And
When
2,
do I?
yes, you just sound like you just have a lot on your plate and you're very busy, and we're just very impressed with that.
When do I sleep? I sleep now. Okay, go ahead.
But the second question is from one of the Zoom participants, Mabule. First of all, says that they really like your innovation and just want to know if it's been tested. And if so, just how that went and where it was tested.
Well, I sleep at 8 o'clock and I wake up at 6. Okay, yeah, I don't sleep at 8. I sleep when I can. But for me, it's not a challenge, I'd say. It's definitely not a challenge because, like I said, innovation for me is like, it's exciting. It's not like a job for me. I love it. I enjoy it. So, well, I sleep I sleep normal times. It's okay for me. I can balance it. And with regards to the innovation, we are in they rule to the meters because
Tobile, I don't know if it's just me, but I think we're losing you a little bit. I'm getting nods from the rest of my panelists. So I'm just going to try wait. I'm going to go over to Blessing and see if your connection comes back a bit stronger. Mabule, if we aren't able to get Tobile back as well, Nos, if you can just mute her. If we aren't able to get Tobile back on a good connection, we will connect you guys via email. That's no problem. Blessing, just a question that we had from you was around just the fact that you, particularly yourself and Respo, is very good at marketing themselves. Did that come from training? Obviously, marketing a business is very important, but what experience do you have that kind of feeds into that, or is it all figure it out as you go?
Well, I'd say it comes from leaving the brand, right? So that's the first thing for us, and opportunity, taking advantage of every opportunity that comes your way. Saying yes more than you say no, right? Because if you remember, Emmy, when you called me about Kozi FM, it was a short notice, but you said, you know what, let's do it. So yeah, it's always making yourself available whenever you can and leaving the brand, and opportunities will come to you.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Tobile, it looks like we've got you back a bit better there. Sorry, we muted you. But yeah, you were just talking about the testing. If you want to just unmute yourself and then let us know what the answer to that question was. I'm happy to repeat it if you need me to.
All right. Can you hear me now, Amy?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. With regards to the testing, we are in our prototype stage, and we had to start to talk to the municipalities because they have their own bylaws with regards to the meters, because it's their property at the end of the day, which we do need to read every single digit, be it watts or liters, to then transfer you to your mobile device in order to give it accurate billing prices to you. However, we've encountered countless red tape, I'd say, but it's no biggie. We are working on it. Where obviously you need to work with the bylaws of the municipality, that you don't tamper with their property. We are working on it so we can get it up and running, so we can now test our devices and see how accurate it will then transfer those amounts to you. And well, that's basically where we are, but it's progressing. It's just in talks with the municipality. So they give us permission that we can put our devices in our meters, because at the end of the day, we're not just going to put different meters on the pipes. It's much cheaper and it's much better. So when we do selling our product to our consumer, it's at a cheaper rate, where we just put on a device on an already existing meter. So we'll give you accurate results. And when you do probably have any questions or any queries or discrepancies with your bill that you will end up getting with the municipality, you can show them that it's exactly from their meter. So whatever bill that you will get, it will be as accurate as what is on the meter, and you can now compare it with what you get from the municipality. Not that we're saying we are against the municipality or we're trying to work against them, but we want to work together so we can also help them as well, because a lawsuit is expensive. You can't be, well, not everyone goes that route, hey, to then now sue, because not everyone have that money to go sue the municipality. But then we don't want to have to get to that. Can we just all now get paid? It doesn't have to be a household or residential, it could be a business as well. So it could help businesses and other people that want to sell houses as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Tobile, for that. Yeah, that insight. I think for me, it would have been great in the middle of lockdown to have your device on my meter at home. I had 1 month that seemed a little bit ridiculous to me, but there was nothing I could do about it, so I just had to pay it. So yeah, I'm coming for you. We need to get these things going. And we've got one more question. It's not directed at any of the guest innovators sharing with us, but it's around funding for innovation. So it can be hard to get funding for innovative ideas. Any advice on acquiring funding or other help would be greatly appreciated. So I know the innovators did share with us a bit around that, and just particularly around when looking for funding, being as prepared as possible, having as many answers as possible. I was actually going to share this towards the end of our webinar anyway. But one thing I do want to highlight is the funding map that Innovate Durban has developed and is in the process of refining. So towards the end of last year, in fact, various of the innovators who have joined us today were part of the development of that funding map. And we worked with the HSRC to develop a list of funding available for innovation in a very broad sense. So there's about almost 800 different funding mechanisms that we've highlighted that are from early stage to commercialization, from grant funding to loans to VCs, and the list, the raw data is available on our website at the moment. So innovators can go view that. We are in the process of developing that into a dashboard so that support agencies and kind of government organizations as well as VCs and funders can understand what kind of the funding landscape looks like, where there's kind of maybe a saturation, where more funding could be pushed. But that list is available as a read-only document for those looking for funding of various kinds. So we do definitely encourage innovators to view that as well. Innovate Durban also has an innovator support fund. It is focused very particularly on high-risk early-stage innovators. So the amount of funding is quite low in terms of what we're able to support with, but that is available, and you can apply for that through our website, or you can email us in order to apply for that as well. So we do fund, however, in small amounts directly, but we really encourage innovators to look at that funding map. There is a lot of innovation funding available. It's often difficult to find, know who to talk to, know where to go. So that's kind of the purpose behind the funding map. Really, that brings us to the end of the Q&A session. I do have one or two things beyond the funding map to mention. The first thing is our next webinar that is being hosted also Thursday at the same time. It's at 11 a.m. on the 1st of October, so not next week, but the week after. And that is around legal advice for innovators and for entrepreneurs. It's a really good content. The speakers are experts in what they do, so we really encourage everyone to join for that. Yeah, I just want to really encourage everyone to join for that. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. I am meant to share a contact screen now, but I see that it closed itself, so I'm not going to be able to do that with everyone. But I will speak slowly. If you do want to email us, please email us at info@innovate.durban, or you can give us a phone call. Our point officer's number is 087 365 3131. So if we haven't answered something, if in an hour's time you realize, oh my gosh, I've got such an important question, I should have asked it, email us. We would love to hear from you. If you are needing innovation support, if you have a bright idea but you don't know what the next step is, you are more than welcome to come to us. Like Blessing, Joash, and Tobile said, we are here to help. We are excited to help. So yeah, please send us an email. It's info@innovate.durban. I just really want to thank you guys, Joash, Blessing, and Tobile. I know you are busy. You had to take time out of your day, your fish farming, your health services, and your 9 to 5, Tobile. So I really, really appreciate your guys' time. And then to the attendees, we also really appreciate you guys joining us. Without people to support, we would have very little to do. So thank you so much for joining us. For those on Facebook as well, thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time for the next webinar. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Amy.
Cheers.